Good afternoon. My name is Devon.
My name is Jorge.
My name is Justin Santiago.
Today, our presentation is on the Earth Liberation Front. Also, the Earth Liberation Front has two sister organizations called Human and Animal Liberation Front. They also call themselves the Burn and Rage of Dying Planet because they think that we are just hurting the environment and causing a lot of chaos and destruction. Right here, this picture shows that they're sending a message to us that say you cannot control us wild. They're just sending it to us, writing graffiti, and that's damages and more money we got to spend on them. And this picture shows that they're holding a dog, that's a pig, they're holding a pig trying to recruit us. In the same picture here, they're holding dogs trying to recruit more people for the organization. They're showing like pretty things to recruit better people. And right here, this is our definition of terrorism. Our definition of terrorism is that it can be committed by state or non-state groups, and these acts can be motivated by religious, political, and social, and or they can be inspired by other terrorist groups and or beliefs. The targets of the acts can be civilians, symbolic monuments, armed forces, political figures, and or social figures.
Now, the group started in the 1990s, and they started out as a radical environmentalist group in Brighton, UK. The specific year was 1992, and in just 2 years, in 1994, they spread out to all of Europe. And recently, in 1997, is when they immigrated to the United States. The group's main goal is to protect and preserve animals. They do this by infiltrating testing labs and freeing the animals and protecting them from like hunting use. And they also think we use too much oil with our cars and our electricity and all that. And they try to stop that by burning down our cars and trying to stop the production of fossil fuels.
This is the chart that we established whether or not they are terrorists or revolutionaries. We're going to start with the revolutionaries. First, like George said, their goal was to protect and preserve animals. In other words, they want to prevent, hunting animals, animal abuse, and eliminating all testing labs for animals. But they also want to protect endangered animals, and they want to send a message that they want to let us know, basically, that animals should have rights too. And another thing, well, the final thing, is that they try not to harm people in any way. They don't want to, kidnap people, torture people, or brutally hurt somebody for them doing what they are doing to animals.
Now, the terrorist side, they have done $200 million in damages. All this can come mostly from arson, but they've also done some in vandalism. In total, all the acts that they committed is 600 criminal acts. The type of terrorism they call it is eco-terrorism, and that's eco-terrorism is basically terrorism where you're trying to send a message to protect the environment. They try not to harm people, but we researched that they are considering it now because they don't feel like their message is getting across just right. The FBI ranked them recently to be the most active and destructive domestic terrorist group.
From all our studies and research, we came to an agreement that the EOF is a form of a terrorist group.
Our definition of terrorism states that they can be started by religious, social, or just so they basically do it because they're social beliefs, the environment, and all that, and that's why, because we said that they can be influenced by social beliefs, and that's a social belief. An act that they committed was when they burned down 20 Hummers and SUVs. They did that because they believe that Hummers and SUVs are very bad for the environment because they have very low gas mileage and they pollute a lot. So they sent a message to tell us to stop doing that by burning them down. This is a map of all the destruction that they did in their time in the U.S. As you can see, they're mostly in California, and they've done $53 million in damage there. Mostly from arsons, but there's one graffiti. They've done mostly everything in every region of the country.
Just like Devon said, that the Earth Liberation Front is just not one organization, but it's basically one organization, but there's 3 different sides with 3 different goals for people that come together. And this is the Animal Liberation Front, which is a sister organization of the Earth Liberation Front. And they state that people who impose terror are the terrorists. But they have imposed terror because they have captured this man that is named Graham Hall. He's a filmmaker producer who aired a expose, basically a freaking documentary. Thank you. Exposing their actions of what they were doing.
And 11 months later, they captured him, and they blindfolded him, and they brought him to an undisclosed house, and they branded him with their logo. That's terrorism.
Like, we got a little video for you, and we just want your feedback to see if it's a terrorist or not. You tell us.
You guys could actually look up the trailer for that movie that he made. It's called If a Tree Falls, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah. It's called If a Tree Falls, and it's about like all of the terror that the ELF has done. And the guy who like produced that movie is the one that you saw that got branded. So he made a documentary like to raise awareness about what the ELF does in a negative way. And like you said, they were already thinking of ramping up and hurting people, and once they made this movie, that's when they did it, and they captured the guy and branded him. You could. You mean like the whole movie?
How long is it? Like,
I'm not sure. I mean, it's not very long. I could probably get a hold of it. I was thinking of doing like some movies for each of these things, because there's a great movie on Northern Ireland. Who did Northern Ireland in here? Yeah. Oh my god, it's the best movie. Have you guys seen In the Name of the Father? You ever heard about it? It's a really good movie. Like it's like an entertaining movie, not just for oh cool. Oh, you wait, pause it. There's the black cord right there.
Lewis,
Oh,
Deputy Assistant
you got it. Go ahead.
Director for Counterterrorism at the FBI, is the man charged with stamping out eco-terrorism in the United States.
There have been multiple statements made regarding assassination and or killing of individuals involved in, for instance, biomedical research and that kind of thing.
Case in point, Dr. Jerry Vlasic, practicing trauma surgeon in Los Angeles, who also acts as a spokesperson for several extreme animal rights groups. Vlasic has told audiences that it's time to consider assassinating people who do research on animals.
You said, I think for 5 lives, 10 lives, 15 human lives, we could save 1 million, 2 million, 10 million non-human lives. You're advocating killing people.
I think people who torture innocent beings should be stopped. And if they won't stop when you ask them nicely, they won't stop when you...
Was it just not playing?
I was only like 7 seconds left. We're just gonna say that.
yeah.
You could finish what he said. What was he gonna say?
You're just gonna say if they don't listen when you tell them like with force, then you're gonna have to just kill them because there's no other way to do it.
Don't listen.
Yeah.
That's the only way to listen.
And in one of the other classes, the group showed a video. It was on a totally different topic. It was on the apartheid in South Africa, and it's like, if people don't listen when you ask them nicely, same thing, and they don't listen when you start to protest, and they don't listen when you start to blow things up and not hurt people, the only next step, just like we talked about earlier in the course, no other option, is to commit an act of terror. So you guys really did a good job of like fleshing that out. Very good.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Alright.
No? Okay, good job. So, I have a question, not for you guys only, but for the whole group, like everybody. What do you guys